This is a world gone mad. This is a world gone mad. Mad, 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 mad.
I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. Welcome to A World Gone Mad. It's WTF Wednesday, the day I don't tiptoe, I don't whisper, and I sure as hell don't care who gets upset. I slam the mic down, call it what it is, a circus of cowards, liars, and self-appointed patriots who love this country the same way an arsonist loves a matchbook. WTF Wednesday, where I ask the question, what the fuck is Donald, the delusional one, and his MAGA supporters doing now? And more importantly, how is any of this going to hurt us, the ones who care about our country and democracy? First, I'm going to give you my email. I don't know why I do it. Only a handful of you use it. But here it is anyways. wolfpacktalks@gmail.com. This is for you, the listener, to comment back to me. Okay. Reluctantly, let's get into all of this madness. Here we go. The lights are off, and the country is running on fumes. The shutdown drags on while the lights still stay off, and the country sputters like an engine running on fumes. Federal workers are furloughed, paychecks are paused, and the people keeping this nation upright are told to sit tight while Washington argues over who gets to hold the match. And what are we calling it now? A historic shutdown. Historic because it is the only thing Washington can do on time. They can't pass a budget, and the Republicans won't even discuss health care. They're keeping the shutdown hostage because in Washington, the longer the crisis lasts, the better the story sounds when you blame somebody else. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees are furloughed or working without pay. Families are struggling and juggling their bills while politicians juggle microphones. It's the great American talent show where the only act left is failure. Picture this country right now. Many national parks are open only in limited ways with closed facilities and reduced staffing. Some federal services continue while many others slow to a crawl. Many inspections and routine oversight are paused or reduced. Entire agencies feel like dark, empty, hollow shells of bureaucracy. The world's most powerful nation has literally hung a sign out that says, closed for business, and then they turn around and blame the janitor. This is not a partisan crisis. It is a full system breakdown. An entire government frozen like bad software while the people in charge argue about whose turn it is to hit Control, Alt, Delete. Airport lines are longer in many places, and officials warn of more disruptions as this drags on. Every loan, refund, or permit is stuck in limbo somewhere along the chain. And while citizens sit on hold, Congress holds another press conference to explain how it is everyone else's fault. The absurdity is biblical. Federal workers are told to stay patriotic while missing paychecks. Public servants are being treated like collateral damage in a political slap fight. If irony paid rent, Washington would be debt-free. And just when you think they cannot insult your intelligence any further, the Republican leadership steps to the podium and declares that the polling proves the American people are blaming Democrats. That is a lie. Not spin, not interpretation, not creative math, a lie. Recent national polling shows more Americans blame Trump and congressional Republicans than Democrats, even as partisans spread the blame around. Fax are apparently just another non-essential government service. They've been furloughed too. So now as this drags on, the same crowd that caused it is trying to gaslight the country into believing it is someone else's mess. You know, it's like watching the driver who crashed the bus stand over the wreckage and lecture the passengers about seatbelt safety. Every service is frozen somewhere. The machine is silent. The lights are off, and the smell of dysfunction is spreading like a gas leak through the Capitol. So naturally, what happens next? Do they fix it? Do they compromise? No. Someone looks around at this smoldering ruin and says, you know what this place really needs right now during the shutdown? A renovation. The gold ballroom, because apparently decay is the new decor. The country is half shut down. Millions of federal workers waiting for paychecks. Agencies gasping for air. What is happening in the White House? Destruction, then construction. Not emergency repairs, not infrastructure upgrades. A ballroom. A golden ballroom. While the rest of the country is on hold, Donald Trump has decided the most urgent national priority is giving himself a new place to twirl under chandeliers. The East Wing is being gutted so one man can throw parties for himself and stare at his reflection in gold leaf. This is not renovation. This is worship. You cannot buy irony this rich unless your name is Donald Trump. A man who sees a government in chaos and thinks he could use a better mirror. A golden mirror. Think about this, listeners, for a second. Every agency is struggling to pay workers. Families are juggling bills. National parks are running on fumes. And the guy responsible for it all is redesigning the East Wing like a bored king redecorating his throne room while the peasants fight over crumbs. This is not a metaphor. This is happening. The East Wing, the literal home of democracy's image, is being torn apart to make space for chandeliers and marble floors because Donald Trump is gutting democracy and rebuilding it in his own image. We are watching the political version of Rome burning while Nero installs better lighting. Except this Nero tweets about it in all caps. The optics are so grotesque, they feel like a reality show scripted by a pyromaniac. Trump thinks to himself, sure, the government is closed, but what if the drapes were more flattering to my complexion? Imagine being a furloughed worker seeing that footage. You are doing math on what bill you can skip this week while gold-plated trucks roll across the White House lawn. And the same Republicans who shut the country down are standing at a safe distance, playing with themselves while watching more crumbling in our democracy. Too scared to walk 1 foot close enough to Trump and say, hey, could you not do that? That's just wrong. This is not restoration. This is self-indulgence with taxpayer money. The historic preservation groups were not even consulted because when Donald Trump wants something shiny, the law is just background noise. It is ego carved in marble. Pettiness poured into plaster, a shrine to one man's vanity built with the rubble of everyone else's dignity. If you scripted this for television, no one would believe it. Even satire has limits. But here we are, living in a country that cannot pay its workers, but could still fund a dictator's chic ballroom for a man who never met a mirror he did not salute. And somewhere in the distance, you can almost hear Donald practicing walking to his entrance music while the rest of the nation waits for the lights to come back on. A government that cannot function but can still redecorate. A country running on fumes while the self-anointed king installs new lighting for his next coronation. You want symbolism? There it is. The East Wing is under construction. The nation is under deconstruction. And both are monuments to the same ego that broke them in the first place. Are you outraged? Are you angry, listeners? Well, here's my email address. I would appreciate you using it, giving me your thoughts and your comments. wolfpacktalks@gmail.com. Okay, time to continue. $230 million for the man who broke the country. So after shutting down the country and redecorating the White House like Versailles, Donald Trump now wants $230 million from the Department of Justice, paid by the taxpayers he spent years calling suckers. Trump wants $230 million because being investigated for crimes apparently comes with a compensation package. You have to admire the nerve. The guy spends years shredding democracy like a bad credit card statement and then sends the bill to the people who had to watch it happen. It is the political version of burning down your own house and then suing the fire department for emotional distress. Trump is suing the Department of Justice, the same department he tried to turn into his personal law firm, claiming that their investigations into him hurt his reputation. Let that sink in. Donald Trump is suing because his reputation was damaged. His reputation. Trump, the man whose name is now legally synonymous with felony counts, wants a refund for embarrassment. Somewhere in the distance, irony just jumped off a bridge. Imagine having the gall to say, "You exposed my corruption, and that made me look bad, so now you owe me." It's like catching a bank robber in the vault, having him say, "Hey, you interrupted my work pay. Pay me overtime." $230 million. That is the number. Not for infrastructure, not for veterans, not for disaster relief. That was cut dramatically. For Donald Trump's feelings. The audacity deserves its own zip code. Every day, Americans struggle to afford rent, groceries, and health care. And this man thinks justice is supposed to come with a cash payout. Donald wants damages for being held accountable, as if facing consequences were some kind of workplace injury. And the best part? His followers will cheer it on. They will hold fundraisers for a billionaire demanding money from the government Donald still insists he hates. They will chant about freedom while writing checks to the king who tried to overthrow it. This is what the modern Republican Party has become, a cult of grievance, where every loss is a conspiracy, every investigation is persecution, and every humiliation is a business opportunity. It is political snake oil, sold by a man who keeps the bottle and bills you for the cork. $230 million because the law hurt Donnie Boy's feelings. $230 million for the privilege of being investigated. $230 million he wants because Donald Trump thinks accountability should be profitable. He's not running a country anymore. He is running a collection agency. And if you ever needed a final scene to capture the state of this country, it is this one. A government on its knees, a golden ballroom gleaming in the background, and the leader of the free world holding out his hand and saying, "Pay me for the trouble of being caught." WTF Wednesday. Of a world gone mad. Look at what the fuck Donald and his dumbasses are trying to accomplish in the last 48 hours. This is the new normal. A petty, egotistical, narcissistic, small-minded, petty child. Yes, I'm repeating the word petty because it bears repeating. A vengeful wannabe king, causing damage minute by minute to our country and the world. And the majority of Republicans stand there with their mouths taped shut, paralyzed in fear, shaking like a bowl of jelly while they watch this slow motion disaster unfold. The Republican leadership, too scared to speak out, too weak to lead, too compromised to care. Whether the Republicans are threatened, bribed, blackmailed, or simply addicted to power, we will never know the truth. The result is the same. The Republican leadership does nothing. They sit in silence while the country burns around them. They watch it happen like spectators at their own funeral, pretending they still matter. And that right there is the tragedy. This is the new normal. A nation held hostage by cowardice, ruled by vanity, and sinking under the weight of one man's ego while everyone else looks away. And the people in charge behind the scenes, I'm not talking about Donald Trump or J.D. Vance, but these following names: John Roberts, Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, the Supreme Court conservative justices. Add to this list Mike Johnson, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Ron DeSantis, Mitt Romney, Lindsey Graham. There are a lot more Republican leaders who are complicit, but let's focus on these names. These people I call the Dirty Dozen. These so-called leaders could stand up to Donald Trump. They could end this madness tomorrow with one act of courage, one sentence of truth, one moment of backbone. But they don't. They hide behind robes. They hide behind microphones. They hide behind press releases and fake smiles and using the word concerned. They are the reason this madness continues. Because silence is not neutrality. Silence is consent. They could stop it. They choose not to. And while Donald Trump burns down the country one match at a time, these 12 watch from the balcony and pretend their hands are clean. The Dirty Dozen, 12 people who could save democracy and won't. History won't forget them, because when democracy needed defenders, the Dirty Dozen chose cowardice, and cowardice never saved a nation. If you have thoughts about anything that I've talked about in this episode, you can reach me two ways. By email, wolfpacktalks, plural, talks, Talks, @gmail.com. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, toll-free voicemail box. No one's picking up the phone. It's just a voicemail box. 833-399-9653. Either way, it would be nice to hear from you. Take advantage of it, everyone. And please share my podcast with others. I could use your help. This is The World Gone Mad. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. I'll be back Friday. I say the shit that no one else will, because I'm not afraid to speak truth to power. Until then, Wolfpack listeners, remain skeptical, keep focused, but most of all, stay hopeful.